Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Okay. For those of you that click the link in the description, I suggest everyone click the link in the description, especially if you have an Instagram account, it'll send you right there, hopefully. The link is only like, I don't know, 45 seconds long, something like that. It doesn't feel like it's any longer than a minute, something like 45 seconds, a minute maybe. Okay. This brother, what is his name again? What Pratt City Savage. I see he got a couple 100,000 subscribers on or followers on Instagram. He has a YouTube channel also. I'm 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 holding out there that he's speaking to some type of 21, 22-year olds because there's no way he's speaking to like 30 and 40 something year olds. Um and particularly like 20 and 21 and 22-year olds with a certain mindset and a certain demographic. So, I am open to be corrected if somebody thinks that that's who he's speaking to, and Mr. Z is kind of way off base because I'm about to go in a whole on rant right now. This is foolishness. First of all, this brother is doing his best um 2009 rendition of Jeezy, right? Like his best rendition of Young Jeezy 2009, 2008, 2007 mixtape Young Jeezy. Like get you some fucking money, nigga. You know how Jeezy always sound like he was about to cough, right? Like he was choking, right? Drop a die, nigga. Like that's how this nigga sounds. Wow. First. Secondly, you gotta be around rich niggas. That's not how this works. You think the problem is really and the comments didn't make it any better. Mr. Z, this is like, you know, Drake versus what's his name? Meek Mill's thing. Like he talked crazy, but then the comments didn't make it any better for me, right? You see me, Mr. Shit to you? Yeah, yeah, like for real, like sounded like Young G, like sounded like he just listened to a Young Jeezy mixtape from like '09, right? And it was annoying, and like the inner lefty in me couldn't let it go. I couldn't let it go. I tried, right? So and okay. This kind of hood wisdom and like because I'm y'all know Mr. Z and how I feel about like the weirdo elitist talk and like the like condescending down to Negroes and like so you try to I'm trying to walk that tightrope because I don't want to be a whole on hypocrite like Mr. Z weren't you just talking shit? But, oh yeah, we using profanity today. Oh, all the way profanity today. Mr. Z, weren't you just talking shit about like these fake ass black elites the other day? Right? So like I'm trying to walk the tightrope, but this is not like this ain't it. This ain't it. This is what passes for wisdom. And the diamonds shining, the diamonds glistening on him, right? The jewelry shining. He got the jewelry on. He got the shades on, looking like a whole hood millionaire, and he probably is a millionaire. You want to be broke, be around broke niggas. If you don't want to be broke, be around rich niggas. That's how it works. So I'm gonna just go call Jay-Z right now, call Robert Smith right now, call Oprah right now, and be like, I've had your numbers forever. It was just me. You know, I'm working this 9 to 5. I'm ready to be put on now. What? I'm ready to make some real money now. Because my issue is that I just like being around regular and broke niggas, and now I don't. Oh, whew, spotlight! I done seen the light, right? Because that was the issue. The issue was that I was just not trying to be around rich niggas, right? There's no way he's not talking to some 21, 20-year-old, 22-year-old. right? He has a 22-year-old in his mind that he met somewhere random, and they were like, "Yeah, man, I need to get this money, man. You know, you gotta put me on, man." Da, da, da. There's no way. There's no way he's talking to some grown ass people in they late 20s, 30s, somewhere 40s. There's no way, right? There's no way. And this is what the thing, like this video like encapsulates so much of that weirdo, like like between hustle culture, like toxic entrepreneurship language. And notice what I said. I said toxic entrepreneurship language because I don't believe that all brothers that's trying to get some money and try to start a business is out here talking like this, because they're not. Right. So the toxic entrepreneurial language mixed with hustle culture, mixed with like hood wisdom, mixed with like hip hop culture, mixed with like all of this like mishmash that creates like the perfect ball of nothingness, right? The perfect ball of nothingness. What are you actually fucking saying? And who are you talking to? You know what's free, nigga? An application. What? Who are you talking to? Right? You can't rely on mama forever. That let me know. Okay, he had to be talking to a 21-year-old. There's no way. There's no way. You know, this is his bit. I keep on going to like. There's no way that he wasn't trying to imitate Young Jeezy. This is his best rendition of your. This is mixtape Young Jeezy, right? Look at Mr. Z pulling out the phone by mistake. Yeah, but this is mixtape Young Jeezy. It's crazy, crazy talk, right? And this is like I can't take this. The problem is that you just think your mindset is the problem. You just thinking wrong. And like I said, if he's speaking to some 22-year-old or something like that, that's understandable. If this brother is speaking to some 21-year-old still living at his mom's parent, mom's house or parents' home, and not trying to do anything, and he met this brother and man, I need to get on, man. I need your help, man. That's something different. If you're directing this to those type of brothers that you're probably running into, and I'll put it out there, he's probably running into those type of brothers. 19, 20, 21, enamored by the hustle culture language. And when they meet him and they follow him on IG or they follow him on YouTube and they talking to him like this, and he's like, bro, just get a job. Stop worrying about these chicks that are looking for scammers and D-boys. If he's talking to those brothers, all power to him. But it don't look like he was just talking to those brothers, right? It does not sound like he was talking to those brothers. You know what's free, nigga? What? Hey, there's no way. If I wasn't looking at the screen, there's no way I wouldn't have thought. Now, when he started speaking more concisely, it sounded different. But that segment right there, oh, there's no way I wouldn't have thought that was Jeezy. No way. Right? And this is what passes for wisdom. Like, for any of us that have an IG account, especially Instagram, like Instagram account, right? IG, for those of you that don't know because you don't have it, IG is Instagram. For all of us that have a IG, you find these little type of videos everywhere in the black sector of IG. All on the black side of Instagram, it's all these little hood wisdom, hood knowledge, get yourself some money this way, hustle culture type. Everywhere over on the black side of Instagram is this stuff. Everywhere. And it's a whole lot of Negroes talking loud and not saying anything. And once again, I reserve I'm making space to say, like, this is not for me. This is not, he's not speaking to me. I understand that, right? But if this basic ass like type of talk is what passes for wisdom in the hood, like okay, go get a job and but the thing that really got me was not that, because that's basic. Like that's nothing. That's something you tell your nephew that's been on your sister's couch for way too long. That's been on your brother's couch for way too long, and you trying to save him before your brother choke his ass out. That's not. He's not. That's not the thing. The beginning was like, you got to get around. You want to be around broke niggas your whole life. Oh, oh. Y'all already know Mr. Z was coming with that one. Y'all already know Mr. Z had to say something about that one. You want to be around broke niggas your whole life? Niggas are broke. When we find out more and more Americans are broke, does Mr. Z, like, I don't even want to do the whole pompous actually thing. I don't want to do the actually thing, but actually, 60% of Americans can't afford $1,000 emergency. Nigga, what are you talking about? When I say those things, that's not to glorify being poor. Everybody, at least all of my subscribers, get why I say that type of thing. Because a nigger, Negroes, I want to say Negroes and niggas at the same time. Negroes like this. It's not me making an excuse for why Americans are in this abysmal state financially. Actually, Mr. Z has a big ass problem why most Americans are in this abysmal state financially. I actually say the things I say for Negroes just like this. Right? Hey, Charles Finney. So let me explain to people this. So just in case some of the elders never saw this. So there was this little like meme style question that was going around social media. It's actually happened a few times, right? Where every couple years it seems like a question will pop up either on Instagram or Twitter. And it'll say something like, would you take a lunch with Jay-Z or $500,000, right? Or would you take a lunch with Jay-Z or $250,000, right? And like it's really a actual. I know for all of the elders, y'all like this is the dumbest shit I ever heard. I get it. It'd be a real debate or a real conversation in the comments. Niggas really be like, y'all to take 500. You don't know what Jay-Z might put you on some game that's worth more than 500. What y'all think Jay-Z gonna tell you that's worth more than $500,000? And it'll be like a 30-minute lunch with Jay-Z or something like that, a 45-minute hour lunch with Jay-Z or $500,000. Or like a 20-minute, it's something like that, right? Like a 20-minute long conversation would name the person. And usually it's Jay-Z, right? Or $250,000, something like that. And like it's a real debate in the comments. So when Charles Finney said this, he knew, yeah, like, yeah, brother. Oh my God, he definitely would take the lunch with Jay-Z instead of taking the 500. Well, if he's making YouTube money and he's making his IG money, then it may be understandable. Maybe understandable, depending on how much money he actually has, whether he's fronting with a lot of this or not, depending. But if you're a regular ass 9 to 5, 60, 70, 50, 40, $30,000 a year person, and you taking the lunch with Jay-Z over the $250,000 or $500,000, nigga, what? Right? All of this weirdo wisdom stuff, bruh. Is this real? Sometimes you see this stuff, you gotta be like, is this shit real? Is it just me? Like, you know, I'm pretty sure that many of us in our friend circle, as jovial as Mr. Z is, y'all see Mr. Z giggle like a schoolgirl, but I'm the one that keeps many of my friends' feet to the ground, right? When they start talking all this airy fairy rhythm spoons, shout out to Tariq Nasheed, rhythm spoons type talk, right? Exactly, compassion and callous, exactly. And everybody always says this that argues with the other people, right? Everybody always says Jay-Z Nigga Jay-Z would say, take the money, right? And then we could get into the whole conversation, like I asked before, whether much of black money, and I should have put it in and like put some context to what I'm saying, whether black money in America is actually access white money in America. We can get into that conversation also, right? But man, look, all of this weirdo wisdom and sage, like what you said again? Shoot to you, right? He's a hood sage, or was that Charles or Charles Finney that said that, right? Like this is what passes for wisdom, and like I said, if this is directed and I think Charles said, it looks like that is his audience under 25-year-olds. Okay, maybe that makes some sense. Some brothers in the hood, maybe they need a good verbal kicking ass. Okay, right? But even that, this seems so elementary, and even making space for him speaking to the young folks under 25, especially the young brothers under 25. That intro sounds like it was for everybody, though. Sounds like it was for everyone, right? Just get you some money. If you don't want to be broke, you need to get away from broke niggas. You need to be around rich niggas. What? You have to see Mr. Z's face right now. Wait, what? Wait, you think we just get around rich niggas? Rich niggas live in gated communities, on a hill. What? Rich niggas got security, man. You're like, rich nigga, you gotta pay to be around rich niggas. That's why after concerts, they be like, if you want to go backstage passes, that costs money. Even these little hood stars that when they travel around, if you want to have a meet and greet with such and such, it's an extra $500 on the ticket. It's an extra this on the ticket. What are you talking about? Just get around rich niggas. What? What are you talking? This shit is this is what passes for hood wisdom, bro. This is hood knowledge. Let me no. I'm sorry because I just insulted so many of our uncles and our cousins and even some of us in the hood. This is not hood knowledge. No, no, it's not. This is that fake ass hood wisdom that a lot of people grab onto because it feels empowering, right? It feels empowering. It feels like he's saying something. All through the comments are people copying. I'm like, ugh. Right? Say what? Right? And I'm like, it's difficult to walk this line because I promise y'all, Mr. Z ain't anti-money. I promise you, Mr. Z ain't anti-money. I promise you, Mr. Z ain't is not anti-nice things that show some status. I promise you, Mr. Z is not. I promise. But this ain't it, right? And it's difficult because there's so much of this that you're constantly responding to this. And it makes you come off like you anti-money as a black person. You anti-business. You anti-black business. You anti-entrepreneurship. I am anti-hustle culture. That's a whole different conversation. Hustle culture is one of the biggest scams that so many Americans, particularly black Americans, fell for. I am anti-hustle culture. That's some bullshit. But I'm not anti-business. And I'm not anti-entrepreneurial. And I'm not anti-money. Right? I'm not anti pulling your resources and starting a corporation. right? Now this pseudo hustle culture, entrepreneurial hood, whatever the hell these niggas got going on. Yeah, Mr. Z ain't about that though, right? It's frightening. This is what passes for like hood wisdom and knowledge in the black community. I'm sorry, I keep on saying knowledge. It's not hood knowledge. Let me reel that back. Every time I say it, no, I don't really mean that part. This is what passes for hood wisdom, though. Often. And then you look like the depressing naysayer. You Mr. Z always the naysayer for everything. I'm telling you, I'm rubbing my temple right now. It's so hard not to be the naysayer because look, Mr. Z has been at get-togethers. Like Mr. Z don't live in the hood, right? But Mr. Z has been to get-togethers. I have been to friends and families get together. I have been, or like your family, your relative has to get together, and they you know friend or associate or some uncle or somebody start waxing poetic like this about the problem with black people, and once we get into the problem with black people, oh, y'all know Mr. Z head be hurting, right? Because and I'll be trying, whether it's I'm with my sisters, whether I'm with my mom, whether it's my friend or associate, everybody know like, oh crap, Z's here. He not gonna let this slide, and I can't, right? Because we have way too much of this entrepreneurship at a 40-year-old, and these niggas talking hustle culture talk. We starting to find out more. I made the video. Now y'all see Yvette Carnell made a video about it, about this wealth transfer that's about to go down. What did I just say yesterday? By the way, I just found this video. What did I just say yesterday? They're gonna start hitting you with this weirdo hustle culture stuff. I don't know if I said that, but I should have said it. This weirdo hustle culture stuff, the gender war stuff, they're gonna want you to ratchet that up. The blaming the older generation, the blaming the younger generations. Because it's too convenient. As wealth council files at the top, the system's gonna tell you, don't look at me, when that's where the answers are, to be frank. You gotta rip that curtain apart, right? What they say, the man behind the curtain? Yeah, you gotta get to the man behind the curtain. Right? But the system gonna tell you, don't look for me. Go hustle, nigga. You know how you make some money, nigga. What? This nigga sound like Young Jeezy. What are you talking about? And shout out to you. Thank you, Michael Ross, for the super sticker. Thank you very much. Right? Thank you very much for the super sticker. Look, brother, what are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Do we got to do the numbers again? 8.8, 8.8%. So 9% of Americans are millionaires. 9% of Americans are millionaires, and that's mainly hard assets. I like to say it because it's funny. That's if you liquidate them in their life, you can write them a check for $1 million, 1.1 million, 1.2, 1.5, 2.1, etc., plus and plus, and etc., etc. I don't know where we get this weirdo hustle culture as black people from. And this is what I contend. This is what Mr. Z is saying. I do think that black people could be in a better place financially if we would own where we are now. That's my argument. If I've never said it before, let me say it today. Timestamp it, date it. My argument is if black people would just accept where they are now, they can fight and advocate, from this place. If black people truly knew their financial reality in context, obviously, with American history and where America is financially and the money America could spend and the money that just gets thrown away to corporations, etc., etc. If black people could own where they are now financially, I think you can advocate for this spot from this spot, excuse me, and in 50 years, not even that long, 20 years, 50 years in a century, you could see black people definitely be in a better place financially, not just because of the cost of living. I mean, like, really not be the face of the bottom, the face of struggle, right? But first has to be a true understanding of where black people are financially and why they're there. We can't let the weirdo respectable niggas come in the room because they hijack the conversation. Let me say this again. I've said it before. I've said it on Roger's show. I've said it on BGS. I've said it on Charles. I've said it on Art New Style. The reason why black people don't have shit is not because your nephew got $7,000, $8,000 worth of tennis shoes and apparel in the closet. I know y'all want to blame your nephews and your sons and some of your uncles because they have $7,000, $8,000 and maybe $2,000 and $3,000 worth of clothes in the closet, and you think, excuse me, let me say it again. They have $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 worth of shoes, mainly Jordans, and rare ass Nikes and Reeboks and whatever the hell, Filas and whatever the hell, and now the Yeezys, right? And then they have maybe $2,000 and $3,000 worth of clothes, and you think the reason why the black community is poor is because your nephew has $13,000 worth of apparel and maybe $5,000 rims on his car, and you think that's why we don't have anything. So if you think $17,000 is breaking the hood, you don't really know money, right? If you think $15,000 is breaking the hood, $16,000, $17,000 is the reason why black people don't have shit, you don't really know money. Oh, I'm sorry, because the respectable Negroes in the room. Let's also throw in that $600-$700 PS5 or Xbox, right? And once again, Mr. Z isn't saying that these people should be spending money on this type of stuff. I want to make sure that y'all don't, because you know Negroes be looking for the like the loophole in what you're saying, right? The hole in what you're saying. I'm not saying that these people should be spending this money like this, especially when they don't have, or they don't have it like that. That is not what Mr. Z is saying. I'm not saying that your nephew who's 22 years old living at home with your sister should have $4,000 to $5,000 worth of shoes and another $1,000 or $2,000 worth of clothes, and he's barely making ends meet working at Target or wherever the hell he works. I'm not saying that. I'm not giving these people a pass. What I'm saying is that's not why people are broke. Y'all taking this financial literacy conversation way too far. Oh my God, y'all taking it too far. And if Mr. Z has to be one of the few people to say, no, nigga, no, that's not it. That ain't it. And I look, it's understandable, especially when you're dealing with primarily working class and poor and lower middle class people. We want to have our destiny in our hands. We want to feel like we have control over our future and our destiny. And what I'm saying is, whoever the designers are or the social designers, they're playing us. They know you want that feeling. So it's easy to put out there all this weirdo hustle culture talk, all this you're your own worst enemy talk. Because contrary to popular belief, you don't see that as insulting. You like that because it actually makes you feel like you have your destiny in your hands. And Mr. Z ain't saying you don't fully have your destiny in your hands. I'm saying they playing us with this type of language, right? That's what I'm getting at. I have to be, when you have to be super clear You have to dot all your I's and cross all your T's so that you're not misconstrued, because it's so easy. The people that disagree with you, they're looking for all the little holes in your argument. They're looking for you to mispronounce a word. They're looking for you to trip up on a syllable, right? Because they don't want to hear it anyway. So let you misspeak just in the smallest way, and they're on you. And they'll exploit that one mistake, right? Because they disagreed with what you were saying from the jump, and you might actually be right, or you might actually make sense, right? But yeah, so this is amazing. Yeah, I watched this thing and I was like, oh, you know, when you just had it up to here and you're like, okay, I can't do it. I can't do it today. I can't, right? And Detroit says he's definitely the type of cat that he don't know his struggle instrument, but he's begging for Jay-Z or Gucci having lunch with him. Yo, and yeah, because he think that he's gonna come up on some type of wisdom. And thank you, Detroit, for the super chat. Thank you very much, brother. But yeah, he think that, like, and I'm not saying that these people might not. I mean, it's possible, but I don't know what you think you're gonna get from Jay or Gucci in 30 minutes. What type of crazy ass business plan or idea you think they're going to put you on in 30 minutes, in an hour? It took these people decades to amass their wealth, and you think they're going to put you on some wisdom in 30 minutes to an hour taking lunch with them, where it's going to surpass that $500,000 or that $250,000 that you would have made instantly, right? Like that's it. It's frightening because the people that choose the Jay-Z conversation, I get why. Think about the history, especially for those of us younger Xers, millennials, older Gen Z. Think about all we've been subject to for the past few decades. You understand why they would choose the conversation with Jay-Z over the money. You get it, because think about hustle culture just being pushed on you for about a decade now. And when we say the concept of hustle culture is old, but the actual term hustle culture coupled with the the concept and all of that, it's a bit newer. I mean, you had the Uber commercial, or one of those commercials taking advantage of this hustle. Get your hustle on, right? You make your own schedule. Get your hustle on, right? You make your own schedule. You decide this. You exploiting you. Meanwhile, the dude recording the Uber CEO talking to him, and you see how the Uber CEO think about his workers. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not his workers because they're private contractors. The loophole in the system. And when this brother says what he says, you just gotta get around rich and you want to be around broke niggas. Completely devoid of history, completely devoid of context, completely devoid of black history. If we just let's call a thing a thing. This goes right back to what I've said, what BGS has said about Nick Fuentes and Jess Pearly things. Of course they playing down slavery. Your own black children play down slavery. Of course they play down Jim Crow. Your own black children play down Jim Crow. The financial realities for Americans. Now, if Mr. Z is going to be 150% honest, if Mr. Z is going to be 1 zillion% honest, I hear more black people playing down the financial realities of Americans than I hear white folks doing it. And that's frightening. Definitely the black women. But that's frightening, right? That's scary, right? Black people of all people who sit arguably in the most precarious spot in America financially, being the ones that are the least apt to want to hear and understand the truth about what's going on in this country financially, because it's all excuses to them. I didn't say just black people. Notice what I'm not saying. I'm not just saying the financial realities for black people, which obviously is even more dire, right? I'm speaking about the financial realities for Americans, what Americans are living in general. That's frightening. So for those of you that think I went on a tangent, I'm coupling that with why this brother probably sounds the way he does. It's weirdo respectability with some hood wisdom and some hip hop culture and hustle culture and right constructive criticism that really isn't constructive. They missed the constructive part of constructive criticism, right? It actually just comes off insulting because it's insulting. And he did say dumbass nigga. Did he say that? I mean, like this nigga really did pull off the Jeezy. He said dumbass nigga. Did he say dumbass nigga? Wow. Something along those lines. If his exact words weren't dumbass nigga, they came real close. Right? And Charles Finney, thank you for the super chat. Charles Finney said, "Gotta tip in." Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you. Right? And it's so difficult not to be the naysayer. It's so because when you hear these things, and more egregious, this still isn't even as egregious as some of the other stuff I heard brothers say, both online and in person. In barbershops, you know, it just passing for wisdom and people be clapping it up like they saying something. And it take everything in you to be like, oh, but I'm gonna let this one go today. I don't got it today. And why does this matter, Z? What's wrong with them? You know why? Because you meet them on the other end of that. That's why. You see them on the other end of that. That's why. Right? You see the brothers on the other end of hustle culture. That's why. You see how women and this system can exploit brothers like that think like this. That's why. Right? That's why. Huh. This is easy exploitation language. We don't want to talk about the low ass wages, the cost of living. Why might your nephew not want to go work at Walmart? He need to go work at Walmart if he need a job. He need to go work, yes. But why might he not want to go work at Walmart? We don't even that's like never a conversation ever. The conversation is you bum ass nigga, why aren't you working? Once again, you got to remember, men, particularly black men, are not human beings; they're human doings. So why aren't you doing something? And then you know many black people, because we're black and we focus and hyper focus on ourselves, we don't even consider that this is a man issue or a man problem, and why so many men once again, aren't going to college, aren't going to university, ain't trying to get one of these BS 9 to 5s. So this even lacks that type of context. But it sounds empowering. Get you a job, nigga. And then in the comments or people, niggas don't want to get a job because they like being broke. Niggas like being broke. Niggas like complaining. And you're looking like, these are black people talking about other black people. Y'all know Mr. Z. Y'all know how Mr. Z said, give Negroes long enough, the anti-blackness gonna start coming out their mouth. Right? It could be couch. It could start off at any type of conversation. Respectability. That's why shout out to the brother Rael. Like I always tell him, respectability is the gateway drug to anti-blackness. Give it long enough. Give it long enough. Let that person keep on talking. You're gonna be clapping up and agreeing with them, and give it long enough. And you'll be like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, I didn't know we were gonna end up here. Hustle culture, same thing. Give it long enough. Because the final destination is, and pun intended, the final destination is the contempt of black people by other black people. We could start off speaking about, young black men not taking education seriously. We could start off about anything, right? Like I said, hustle culture, black people in business, the lack of black entrepreneurship, and eventually we gotta get to the place where these niggas are on the bottom because they want to be at the bottom and they're losers, and they get what they get and they deserve what they deserve, and F them all. It's just about me and my team. Eventually we're gonna end up there, right? Eventually we gonna end up like, fuck all them niggas. It's about me and the 2 other Negroes on the planet that see the world the way I do. Right? Just weirdo ways of saying, excuse my language, fuck black people. Eventually we gonna get right there. Right? If you know the financial realities of black people and you sound like this brother, then what you're really saying is F like what, 85, 90% of black people? Just throw them out the window off top. Just 90% of black people, 85% of them, just throw them out the window from the jump. Right? There's no consideration of media portrayals and how media has affected the way we think and view, everything. Nothing about the education system, none of that. Right? Not even considering you and your own hustle rhetoric and how that might be contributing to why the young men sound the way they do and why they don't want to get a 9 to 5. How you yourself might have contributed to that by the way you speak. How black rappers and entertainers for a few decades now might be contributing to why these brothers don't want to get regular 9 to 5s. Have you ever considered that? Yeah, the women got a part to play in it, but could black entertainers and Mr. Z listen to rap music? Yeah, Mr. Z listen to some of the most raunchiest, ratchetest music ever. I'm eclectic that way. My iPod would literally go from Beethoven to, let's say, some of the most ratchet to like some Trick Daddy and Trina stuff. Right? Literally. Go from like some Final Fantasy 8, background music to literally Too Short. Seriously. To NBA Youngboy, I'm dead ass serious. To Jeezy and to Gucci, I'm so serious. to Big L, I'm so serious. And then go to some OST from I don't know, some anime from like the early 2000s. To some dubstep music, to some house music, to some techno music, right? Sprinkle in a couple of dancehall songs and reggae and grime music from Britain. So if brothers are listening to all this hustle culture music and then they're subscribed to all these different pages on IG, what you think, right? Oh yeah, by the way, throw in some K-pop music and J-pop music, right? On that iPod. More older K-pop. I ain't with the new stuff, right? And better use is, and thank you for the super chat. And better use is, if he went and got a job, old boy be able to afford a real chain. Black folks have one of the best savings rates. We just don't make a lot comparatively, bro. So I've said this before, and like I think I said it on Roger's channel. Shout out to the Roger Report. And like brothers almost lost their mind. I'm like, yeah, what? Oh my god, bro, the internet is free, y'all. Yeah, black people have like better savings rates than white folks. Believe it or not. Your credit scores ain't shit, but believe it or not. And like better you said, we just don't earn enough. There's so much narrative that we've adopted that runs contrary to what's actually going on in this society, but it was a convenient answer to explain why black people are in the position they are in. And black people, like I've said before, got a sense of control over their destiny and they like the narrative because it feels empowering. But in actuality, you just in a weird way, backwards way, actually forward way, blaming Negroes for why Negroes are in the position that Negroes are in. No, maybe. Do you kind of understand what I'm saying? No, all right, right. So let me say this again because for some of the brothers that just got in, this is not an anti-entrepreneurial rant. It's not an anti-business rant. It's not an anti-save your money rant. It is an anti-hustle culture rant. No, no, that's always like I'm not even with the hustle culture. I'm not even gonna pretend. That's some bullshit that corporations pushed and we adopted because they try to find ways of squeezing every inch of labor out of you for as little as humanly possible, for shekels, for pennies, right? They make it sound good. Shout out to the Dade County native Rick Ross, right? Shout out to the Broad County native Ace Hood. All the hustle songs, they sound good. Good bass line, make you feel good when you're working your ass off at work, right? But in actuality, that ain't it. That ain't it, right? And better use is, it makes sense. It's hopium for the masses. It is it really that different than folks who try to hit the lotto? No, no, actually, no, no, it's not. You make perfect sense, right? You make perfect sense, right? Oh crap, I'm ahead of the game right now, right? Shout out to Sandog. What's going on, Sandog? And Sandog said, me and Gigi talking about the same at 2:30. What's that? CST time. What's that? Is that Central time? That's not Central time because we already passed that, right? What's CST time? Is that West Coast time? That's somewhere in the Middle East. I don't know. Anyway, come on, or and give us a listen and comment. I'm interested to hear your take on my conservative stance. Yeah, you know what? Let me go get something to eat a little bit, and I'll definitely try to be part of that conversation, right? Okay, you said it's 5:30. Okay, not 2:30, and it's 2:30 a.m. for me. Okay, okay, all right. Thank you, PK. PK said Central Standard. Okay, thank you. Right. But yeah, this to me, I'm telling y'all, like, y'all click the link in the description, and Mr. Z almost blew a fuse, right? And like I said, if you're speaking to your son, to your nephew, to a cousin that you love, because he's sitting on your girl cousin's couch or your guy cousin's couch and he's sleeping on it at 21, 22, and he don't want to do anything. He don't want to go to college. He don't want to go to university. He don't want to get him a trade or anything like that. That's a different conversation. I am not disparaging anyone of that, like doing what you need to do in that respect, right? But if we're talking to people like Mr. Z or like some of you, because it looked like he was mixing a couple of messages in here, then that's a different conversation. The latter part of the conversation sounded like he was speaking to some young 20-something-year-olds, right? People under the age of 25. But that intro, oh no, right? You need to be what he said. You want to stay broke. You gotta be around rich niggas. If you're around broke niggas, you're gonna be broke. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? So, in other words, all of our biggest issues for all of us that are regular, smegular 9 to 5 people, your issue is you ain't never called Jay-Z. You know you got his number, right? You better hit up Dr. Dre. Why y'all ain't hit up Dr. Dre? Right? The brother Peebles, name them. The brother Stewart, Robert Smith, name all these wealthy people, like Oprah, right? Why y'all didn't hit these Tyler Perry? Why don't y'all hit these people up? Y'all, we all done had their number. We just ain't called because we don't like money. That's our problem. Are you done being poor yet? Now just go call the rich black people, the wealthy black people, and be like, okay, you know what? I'm done being poor. So I'm ready to be put on. This whole time I was running from the money. I was hustling backwards, right? I'm ready now. Oh, by the way, let the security at the gate know that I'm coming. Because I know you had an open invitation for free for me to talk to you and for you to put me on so that I could blink my eyes and tomorrow be a millionaire. And by the end of this year, be a billionaire. And I know I was running from the money. I liked being poor. Now that I don't like being poor anymore, let the security at the gate know and be expecting me, you know, at 2:30 in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Right? Come on. So yeah, shout out to that brother, but I'm just gonna assume that you were speaking to somebody else, a certain demographic that has nothing to do with Z. I'm certain. But that intro, brother. Oh no. And this is this passing for knowledge. Shoot, I keep on saying knowledge. This passing for wisdom, hood wisdom, and the black community. I don't know. I don't know. Right? And we've been hearing this type of language for forever, especially on social media. And so many brothers are subscribed to y'all. So many black brothers in particular are subscribed to y'all. This weirdo hustle culture backwards language. Has it really moved the needle? You know what brothers was doing? PPP loan scams. That's what brothers were doing. God damn, Mr. Z. Listening to y'all. It's not just the women. We gotta this one we gotta it's not just the women, bro. These young men are not just listening to the women. That's why they left they going off to the left somewhere. It's not just the women, right? Trail said, "You mean you don't like being dusty?" Yeah, I'm done being dusty, Trail. Regular 9 to 5 worker, and I'm blue collar. I'm done being dusty. So y'all didn't know before I started the live earlier, right? I called up Omarosa and asked her if she could get me connected to Trump, and we just, next time y'all see Z, right? I'm gonna have me like a special built 300ZX with the GTR motor and drivetrain, and I'm gonna be living somewhere, right, in Calabasas somewhere. I'm done being dusty. So all I had to do was make. Oh, I forgot I'm Haitian descent. I called up Aristide and I was like, hey, right? I called up Wyclef and I was like, hey, I'm done being dusty, right? If y'all believe the rumors, I called up Usher and I was like, hey, I'm done being dusty, right? That's how this brother was making it sound. I'm being funny, but he was making it like get around rich niggas. How the hell, right? Just get around rich. What? What are you talking about? Just get around rich niggas. Yeah, it's that easy. Just get around rich niggas. We're not white, right? What did they say? Like white people, like what, 2, 3 degrees of separate? No, it wasn't two. It's like 3 or 4 degrees of separation away from a millionaire. If it's something like that, and like I think black people are like 50 degrees. We're like it's like 50 people away, something like that. If I remember correctly, right? White folks were like somewhere. It was way less than 10 people away from being millionaires. Somebody look this up if Mr. Z is saying it wrong. And then black people are like 50 people away from a millionaire, something along that line, right? Right. Detroit said call Boosie. Boosie's in Louisiana, right? Somewhere down the family line, Boosie might be related to Z somehow. He's a couple of the brothers from Louisiana might have some Haitian blood in them somewhere somehow, right? Right. Jesus Christ! All of this lack of context. You see what I'm saying? Detroit said, I don't see how that could work unless he's a groupie. And them celebrities could smell a groupie from a zillion miles away. They could smell a groupie from a zillion. They could smell a groupie coming from Pluto. A male groupie on top of that, an opportunist male groupie. No, bro, I just want you to put me on some game. Let me know what I should do to such and such and such. I just want to know how you got to where you are. Let me ask y'all something. What did the game say Jay-Z told him when the game was like, hey, how did you do it? I just want to be. And the game was already rich and famous. What did the game tell you Jay-Z told him? For those of us that know that story, what did the game say Jay-Z told him? Stay out of my way. If I remember correctly, y'all correct me, Mr. Z, if I'm wrong. The clip's still floating around somewhere on YouTube. Jay-Z's wisdom to the game was stay out of my way. Something along those lines. Right? And you think that Jay-Z's gonna give you wisdom on how to make this money? So that he could blink his eyes in 10 years and you competing with him to look like you're richer than you actually are while you're actually doing the bidding of the rich Russian oligarch? Yikes. Right? Huh. So he could look up in 15, 20 years and you compete against his son for some contract? Yeah, no. Right? Y'all pushing hustle culture. Meanwhile, you got billionaires saying, yeah, we should probably be taxed more because there's no closing this gap. Right? I do think there's some underhanded stuff with universal basic income, but at the same time, these people are saying, yeah, we might want to institute universal basic income because when automation come in, it's a wrap. When it really start to hit, it's over. And these brothers are talking about hustle culture. What? And like I said, there is a way to advocate for black people with business loans. There's a way to advocate for black people for homes, for more affordable homes. There is a way, but you first have to accept where you are now, right? You got to know where you are now. You can't move from a spot of like where you wish you were. Your ego can't inform you. Chelsea, can I get a can I get an AI plug for weed? It might snitch you out. Actually, you might not want to do that, right? And Cameron S says proximity, and I'm about to end right now because Green Gorilla and I'm about to start in it. Well, no, that's a little bit later. Actually, that's a little bit later. But as he said, yeah, because when did Let me make sure I got that right. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So that's in a few hours. Oh, that's way later. Okay, okay, I'm still doing good timing. All right, but Cameron S says proximity to money is a real thing, but that's not it exactly. That's really just the start, not the end. If that is the extent of the advice, people would just go to the Chamber of Commerce meeting and get it, bro. That's actually a really good statement, right? When we would kidnap the treasury secretary and say, "Don't get," we wouldn't say, "Give me some money." We'd be like, "Hey, what do I got to do to make some money?" What? Right? And then he would explain, well, first, you're going to have to go to college and university, rub elbows with rich folks, kiss their ass in college and university. Oh, by the way, you got to go to these like five, six, seven elite universities, probably straight Ivy Leagues. Kiss a whole lot of rich white people's ass because they're going to be movers and shakers in 10, 15, 20 years. Right? Keep in contact with them even after university. Go back to school. Make sure you get you degreed up so that it can look legitimate when they put you on in the future. Right? Do some underhanded stuff. Act like you don't see some other underhanded stuff. Right? When you get caught up with bank fraud and all type of things, go fund your nearest politician. Shout out to Kamala Harris and what's his face from California that ended up being his Treasury Secretary under Trump. Right? I forgot his name. Somebody gonna put it down. I forgot his name. Um, Mnuchin, right? Wasn't that his name, Mnuchin? Right? You got to get your Mnuchin on. If that was his name, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. And then one day you could be where I am. Right? Oh, so it is. Okay, thank you, better you. Yeah. When you get caught up, when your bank gets caught up, you know, we'll just say the person that's supposed to be prosecuting you somehow goes from attorney general, excuse me, well, lead prosecutor of the state to senator, then vice president. And you get to be Treasury Secretary under Trump. Right? Steve Mnuchin. Thank you, Tro. Right? Better you said. I was gonna call him the evil John Oliver, but Steve Mnuchin is his name. And he kind of does. No, don't do it. Pause on this statement, but don't do that to John Oliver. Steve Mnuchin is ugly, nigga. At least John Oliver looked like a grown ass Harry Potter. Well, a more grown Harry Potter. Shout out to Steve Mnuchin's wife. I get you remember he got caught up because she was over here posting videos of her in the private jet and whatever the hell and all this luxury life that she was living. Hey, I told y'all, white women are a different breed, bro. Man, for the lifestyle, damn, that different breed, a different breed, right? Ugh. Ugh. Right? Yeah, my mind went right there. Just blech. Yeah. Shout out to her. Shout out to her. Hey, we not on private jets, right? We're not on those private jets. We're not drinking that expensive ass champagne, right? Our spouse wasn't Treasury Secretary, right? So I guess, but tying that to the subject matter, you don't know any of these things. You don't care to know any of these things. But you just get around some rich niggas. Okay, Jeezy. All right, Jeezy. Right? You know what's free, nigga? A fucking application, nigga. Dumbass nigga. All right, Jeezy, we hear you. We heard you the first, second, and third time, sir. All right. Do you need cough drops? You sound a little wheezy. Jeez. Okay, everyone. Yeah, that's about an hour and 10 minutes. That's I'm all ranted out. Jesus. Hey, like I said, Mr. Z is not against entrepreneurship. I really am not. I feel like I gotta keep on saying it because I keep on coming back to this subject and I keep on reiterating they're playing us. They're playing on our ego. They're playing on our pride. They're playing on our humanity. They're playing on our want to coalesce around other black people and see other black people do good. They're playing on us. Why I speak the way I do. It's not anti-entrepreneurial talk. It's not anti-black business. It is anti-hustle culture. I'm unapologetic about that. But brothers like this, they talk the way they do, and they think like once again, if you're speaking to a brother under the age of 25 that don't want to get off his ass, that's a different question. But outside of that, I don't know if you. I don't know. Are you? Who are you talking to? Right? Broke niggas. Oh, okay. All right. These are the people that they like. You see them almost have a malfunction when you tell them, 60% of Americans can't afford $1,000 emergency, and you got to make sure to let them know that you're not just talking about black people, because they're gonna do the whole, yeah, well, of course because we spend our money on this. No, 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 no. I'm talking about Americans in general. 60% of them can't afford $1,000 emergency, and you can see the almost malfunction in them because like they never come across this type of information. They don't care to. Nothing about the algorithm that they help to set up pushes any of this. They don't know, and they don't randomly look up these type of things. They don't know. They don't care to know. Right? They're not subscribed to or following anything that tells them any of this. Right? Median income for Americans is somewhere in the mid 30s. The average new car price is 50 grand. Average new home price is somewhere now. It's somewhere I heard 436,000. I think at one point it was 480,000. Whoop de doo, right? We went down some 40 some odd $1,000, right? They don't know. They don't care to know. And sometimes, it's weird sometimes. And my apologies for the background, you guys. It's weird sometimes when you get compliments from people, right? Because it does feel good to be honest. But sometimes in a weird way, Mr. Z is like, but I'm really not saying anything really though. Like you ever, for some of us that's more knowledgeable, we just know a little bit more. It may not even be that we're smarter than the people around us. We just follow and like things that they don't like, so we just know things that they may not care to know. And so when you say something, it's like, oh man, you know that, or that. It's like, yeah, but that's only because I care to know, right? I care to know, and I like to put things in context, and I like to know why the world is the way it is. So like I look these things up, and like I've looked them up enough that now the algorithm damn near feeds it to me, right? Or I'm subscribed to these things, so like now I don't really have to go out searching so much anymore, right? And so sometimes in a weird way, it's actually sobering when you get a compliment from some brothers and sisters, because it's like I don't actually want to be the only one that know this. In our Trail said, I feel sorry for your algorithm, right? My algorithm is all over the place. It's divester stuff, black power stuff, right? Everything. Economic stuff, like political stuff, world news, right? It's just all, when I say all, lefty stuff, black lefty stuff, it's all over the place. The occasional conservative talk just so I could get myself mad, right? So yeah, Trell, my algorithm is like, nigga, what you got going on? What you got me doing? Right? But yeah, it sometimes it's sobering because you really feel like you're not, you know, you don't think what you're saying is that deep or it's that heavy. It's like, but it's not. And then being part of the Black Master only make it worse because I'm around people like BGS all day and the Raj Report, right? Like art news style. So like I really don't be thinking I'm saying anything when I'm around people offline talking about these type of things, or when the conversation shifts into that direction somewhere where like this is the type of thing, like when you're in your bag, like this is my thing. And like I don't really feel like I be saying much, but niggas be looking at me like I got two heads, right? Like, you know, it is I'm like, but it's not even that deep, right? Oh yeah, diaspora, car stuff too. Car stuff too. Can't believe I forgot to say that. Yeah, definitely car stuff. A whole lot of car stuff, right? I might Mr. Z might have to make a separate car channel, right? Might have to do a separate car channel for us automobile enthusiasts, right? I might have to, but I might have to change the name because there's already a Mr. Z on YouTube that has car talk, right? So yeah, I might have to change the name of it, but yeah. Yeah, so I don't okay, so we're an hour and 15 past. Okay. Um yeah, it's yeah. I promise y'all. It Sometimes you talk to different people and they're looking at you, and like I said, like we're all human beings, so it actually feels a little good that people are looking at you like, "Oh my god, this nigga know what he talking about." But you like, but it ain't that this is lightweight. I ain't even say nothing yet. Right? And like I think another thing is I don't know how much I shy away from information that's not flattering, right? Information that's not, it might actually be a bit depressing, right? Because I would rather that than be delusional, right? Because there's something about being delusional and like thinking you're actually being faithful or hopeful, two different words, two different things, and then you get sideswiped by reality. There's something about that, right? There's something about telling yourself actually you're hopeful and faithful and you're being positive and all that positive vibe talk, but actually you're just delusional, right? So I don't really engage in that too much. Oh, and that's where else BGS just dropped. Okay, so I'll jump off in 1 minute. But yeah, so wrapping up. Thank y'all for listening in to Mr. Z ranting. Um, Random rant. I know, random afternoon rant. I did not expect to come into with you guys with this today because I actually want to review a video that Yanni did. Shout out to Real Talk with Yanni. Oh boy. Um, that might be a later on tonight. Actually, no, because Green Gorilla and Sand Dog are gonna be up. I might jump on that panel when if Green Gorilla opens it up. Um, but yeah, so you know, I just had to rant on this, and I'm gonna correct the title and definitely say Lefty Rant, right? Because yes, some of us in the Black Manosphere are lefties, right? Now I understand much of the Black Manosphere has a conservative bent and a conservative leaning, and I definitely understand why. But every once in a while, y'all gotta know Mr. Z gonna be there pulling your coattails, like, nigga, are you sure about that? You should. I don't know. You think that's gonna work? All right, right. Trail said, Trail. I ain't gonna read it out loud. I ain't gonna read it out loud. Right? But yeah, man, look, man, yeah. I understand the more conservative bent of the Black Manosphere. I get it. I understand why. Right? But every once in a while, y'all gotta know shit like this, Mr. Z. I can't let it go. I can't. Because it's not wisdom. It's not, right? It feels good. It sounds good to some, and in context, it might be constructive if you're directing it once again, like I said, to some of the brothers that's really sitting on their parents' couch doing nothing, right? But then once again, if you start talking about, broke niggas and right, I don't know, and it's weird, borderline ascribing, and me and PK have spoken about this before, like borderline ascribing like character flaw to poor people, like it's a character flaw to be poor, and I don't know if you really want to go there when you're a black person and you kind of tiptoe right on the edge of saying that, or implying that, or suggesting that, because most people are not going to say what I just said, and they definitely not going to say it the way I said it, right? But you get that air of like being poor is some type of character flaw, and that's saying a whole lot in this capitalist society. Once again, when like 60% of Americans can't afford $1,000 emergency, right? So when we like kind of imply or suggest that, and you get right up against that, you almost say it. Yeah, that type of talk, Trail. Like I'm allergic to broke niggas type talk, and I'm like, right now, Mrs. Z is not telling brothers that's doing well for themselves and are married with children, and you live in a pretty nice, comfortable life. I'm not telling you to go into the hood and start sprinkling money all through the hood, just like I'm not. Look, this is not a movie, right? Right? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, right? But the implying, suggesting that being broke is some type of character flaw and some, mm, I don't know, right? Got to be careful, right? So on that note, we'll truly pause right there. To this brother, I really meant no ill will outside of that, especially that intro. That intro. Like I said, every Young Jeezy mixtape from like '06 to like 2012. This nigga sound like every Young Jeezy mixtape. All we were missing was the haha, like that's all we were missing. Right? We could see who your rap influence were. We could definitely see who you were influenced by. Jesus. Right? And so on that note, we'll end right there. Love, peace, and chicken grease. We'll pause right here. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. I'm definitely gonna try to check out Dr. Green Gorilla and Sand Dog later on today. That's only in a couple hours, right? Thank y'all for listening in. Um, I might try to do a Saturday, early or mid-morning Saturday stream with the panel, because I will not be able to do that Sunday. So let's see if Mr. Z could actually wake up. BGS killed me. It was one of the streams I was supposed to do a panel or something like that, and BGS literally like put a message in my comments that said "wake up," like I was supposed to see it. I'm like, what? But just funny. But yeah, so um, yeah, Yeah, we'll see about that Saturday morning, panel. Hopefully, right? So, on that note, we'll truly pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Um, y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, for the love of God, so y'all don't sound like these people. Jesus. And all right, everybody, y'all have a great rest of your day. Mr. Z out.